Today I'll be showing you how to make these crochet book sleeves or book covers that have a checkered pattern and wrap around and tie. I'll be using white and purple for this tutorial. This is 4-ply worsted weight and a 5mm hook. You can use whatever hook size and whatever yarn you would like, as long as you just change the stitch count to fit the book with that size. Okay, so I'm gonna start off this pattern by chaining 32. And if you have a different size hook and yarn, you can modify the pattern by adding 4 or subtracting 4 or multiples of 4, and it should get you the same result. Okay, so now that we have our chain of 36, I'm going to insert a double crochet on the 3rd space away from the hook. So here's the first one, here's the second one, here's the 3rd stitch. So for the double crochet, yarning over, inserting the hook, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then I'm just going to do 2 more of those. And then for this next one, we're going to insert the color change. So I'm going to start my double crochet as normal, yarn over, inserting, and then going through the first 2. And instead of going through the second 2, I'm going to add my purple just by kind of making a little loop and then pulling the purple through the 2 strings, through the 2 loops. And that's how I like to do the color change on this, just because we are going to be changing a lot and it's a quick, simple way. So I'll show you again. So you start your double crochet, complete the first half of it, and then add your second color and pull through those 2. So it might feel a bit awkward, but we're just gonna crochet over the tail and the white so it'll tuck in nicely. So we're just gonna continue and do 4 more double crochets. And we're gonna keep the extra strings above the stitches so then you can just tuck them right in and secure them. Okay, now we're on the 4th, so we're going to insert our hook, pull through, go through the first 2, and then we're going to drop this and pick up the white and pull the white through both. And then we're just going to continue on doing 4 of each color, then switching and crocheting over those tails to secure them. Show it one more time. Inserting the hook, pulling up, pulling through 2, dropping the white, picking up the purple to pull through 2. You might need to adjust and make it tighter as you go. So I'm going to finish this and then meet you back. Okay, so when you get towards the end, you're going to end up with 2 stitches left to work with. So the color I'm on right now is white. So I'm going to start and put 1. And then in this last stitch, we are going to insert 3 double crochets. Right next to it, and make sure you keep that purple string or whatever your second color is tucked in. Okay, so you just put 3 in there, and you're going to kind of like work around, and you're going to insert with the same color again, so I'm using white again, a 5th one into this chain. So this is the one we just worked into right here. So now we're working into the back side of the chains. And you can see because it's going to line up with the other white. Again, make sure you keep your other color tucked in. Oh, actually, we're not finishing that one completely because we're going to color change. Okay, and it's a bit awkward, but you're just going to go into this next chain where the purple starts again. So they are going to mirror each other with this pattern. Okay, so then if we count on here, we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this group. So on the ends, we're always going to have 5. And if you look where we started, it also looks like there's 5 because of that first 2 extra chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're just going to continue in the same way, going into the back of the foundation chain. And it's easy to see if you have the right number of stitches because it mirrors each other. Okay, I'm going to go all the way to the end and then meet you right back at the end. Okay, so now that we're almost at the end, I already did 2 stitches for this section. I'm going to do the last 2. And you just want to make sure you don't miss that last stitch. And I am going to switch my color now. Okay, so it should kind of look a bit flat towards the end. And you want to make sure you did go all the way to the end and you have 4 stitches that align with these. Okay, so now that I have my purple, I'm going to insert a slip stitch into the chain space. So just into this large space. And I want to make sure that my white stays tucked in. So I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and then just pull straight through. Okay. And then I'm going to chain 2. So it's slip stitch, then chain 2. And I'm going to yarn over and put my double crochet into the first stitch, this first V here. So we have where we put the slip stitch and then our first V right into this hole. Okay, and then we're just going to continue on, putting 3 more of the purple and then switching to white. And I'll show you a bit closer here after our color change. You're just putting them right into the stitch. So right through that V, underneath the V. So right into here. Okay, so you're just going to continue doing the same thing, alternating colors, and then around the edge, this one is going to, remember this one has 5 on the edge. Okay, so I have one more stitch left for this row, and we are going to complete this stitch without changing colors. So to see where it is, this one is easy because it has the purple next to it. So it's going to be that last white stitch. Okay, so since we are making larger squares, for this next round, we're not going to color change. We're going to do purple again. So I'm just going to keep the white tucked. And you're ignoring this because this is our slip stitch from the last round. So we're going to put it through this larger space right here and keep the white tucked. Just going to do the slip stitch. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2. Okay, so far it looks like this. And so since we're going to be making the squares, I'm just going to continue on with the purple for the next 4 stitches. So I'm going to insert into this first stitch right here. It's next to the space. Do a double crochet. Then into the next one. Into the last one. And then I'm going to change my color to white. Okay, so you can see here with the purple and with this stitch, we have 2 rows of the same. So I did finish the next row. So then I'm going to go again and start here with white to start the next row. And I'm going to do 11 total rows. So that's all the way around. So far we did 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do 11 to match what I did for this one. Okay, I'm going to meet you back when I am finished with the 11th row. So now I'm on the last stitch, and we can count the rows. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you can adjust this if you want a different size. So I'm going to do my last stitch and then color change. So now that I have my white, I'm going to join the row again in that chain 3, the purple up there, and then do a slip stitch. And this time for the top, so we're going to do the top border, instead of chaining 2 to start, we are going to chain 1. So I'm chaining 1, and then I'm going to do single crochets for my border. So I'm going to do a single crochet in the top stitches instead of double. So I'm just going to insert the hook to my first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. And I like to keep the alternation of the colors, but you could also do a solid color for the border. So now for this color change, I just yarn over, pull up the loop, and then I just pull through both loops with the other color. And we're gonna go until we get about halfway. Didn't catch that. Okay, so now that I am about halfway, I'm going to start with the white, and I am going to start making this long chain to wrap around to tie the book cover. So I'm just going to do a really long chain until I get my desired length. So I did 105 chains to get the length that I want. So I wrapped it around once, and this is how much extra I have to tie a bow. You can do it longer or shorter, whatever you want. And I'm just gonna go back all the way down the chain with slip stitches. So I'm gonna skip this one closest to the hook and go into this chain, yarn over, pull through, and just pulling straight through. So I'm just going to do slip stitches all the way down the chain. Okay, so you can just do that, and then I'll meet you back at the bottom. And just about at the bottom, I'm going to finish these last few stitches. Okay, so I just did the last one, and then here is the single crochet that started this section. And I'm just going to continue on and anchor this with the next single crochet. And just making sure to have my second color also tucked in there still. Just going to do my single crochet and then on to the next one. Okay, so as you can see, it's just about in the middle, and it is anchored on there. So we're just going to go all the way around, and we're going to go until we reach the spot about opposite where we'll start the next purple. So I'm going to say it's going to be right here. So I worked around and I got to the spot just across from the white string. So now I'm going to go with my purple, and I'm going to do about the same number of stitches that I did for this one. And you can count, or you can just look at it and estimate. So I'm just going to go and do the same thing. Now I have my chain, and I'm going to do the same thing as before. So in this first stitch that's away from the hook, not the one right next to it, I'm going to start and do my first slip stitch. And then again, go all the way down to the bottom with slip stitches. I'm just about at the bottom, and I'm going to do this last stitch. And then just like before, going to start at the next spot with a single crochet. And we're just going to work all the way around until we get to the end, and then we're going to fasten it off, and then it's complete.
Finish up with the single crochets.
For the last stitch, just going to do a single crochet as normal, and then we're going to join the ends right into this spot where we chained one. So right into here. We're skipping this. This was the slip stitch. I did mine a bit tight. And the slip stitch to finish it off. So again, let me show you where that is. So not this slip stitch, but this first stitch here. It's easy to see when you have two different colors. Okay, and then pull through. And then I'm going to cut this and weave in the ends. I cut the two strings, and I'm just going to tie them in a knot together just to secure them. And then I'm going to weave in the ends. And this book cover should fit any standard paperback book. And just tie it. There you have it. And the yarn that I used, since it's this acrylic yarn, it is pretty stretchy and can also fit some larger books.